Hello and a very warm welcome to this week's Sweet Spot, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with 3 super tips. Steve Palmer on the punter's bag once again. Steve, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks, Dave. How are you?
I'm good. Well, it's not often you ask me how I am, Steve, but I'm flying. I'm absolutely flying. So we're in good form.
Good.
I'm confident that we're going to be among the winners this week. We've got
Well, this is
the
it.
French Open, loads of course form, which I think is where you thrive, Steve. Give me loads of course form.
Yeah. No. I think we're due a winner. We've had a feeble fortnight, haven't we? Thorbjorn Olesen particularly disappointed me last week because he was going to place in the Dunhill Links, and then he made a double bogey at the 16th hole on Sunday. And he didn't place. He finished tied 12th. And then in the evening, Stephen Jaeger looked like he was going to place in the Sanderson Farms. He double bogeyed the final hole. His back nine was 1 over par. Like, people making birdies all over the place. He had a back nine of 1 over par. So, we were being tested on Sunday, but we've dusted ourselves down. We go again, as Stephen Gerrard always used to say during that failed Liverpool title tilt.
I've got to take issue actually with you, Steve, as it happens. The YouTube comments were alight with questioning of your, I think, knowledge of American states and perhaps pronunciations as well.
Yes, Arkansas. Yes. No, we need to work on our Arkansas. Don't worry, that's been duly noted. If we ever talk about players
American geography. Well, it was quite ironic because we were talking about this big map on the wall.
Yes.
I think you'd be struggling.
Well, that's it. I mean, it looks like Arkansas, doesn't it? And there was one fella that
I didn't even pick up on it. You must have said it about 5 times.
One fella was sticking up for me, saying, "How can Kansas be called Kansas and then Arkansas with the same spelling? Is it suddenly Arkansas?" But no, we're learning all the time. Every day's a school day on Sweet Spot.
Yes, indeed. Right, let's get to it then. Textbook Sweet Spot this week. We look back on 2 tournaments. We look ahead to 2 tournaments. Let's start with the Angry Man then, doing the business in the Alfred Dunhill. And this was very, very impressive. What a showing from Nicholas Colsaerts as well, the Belgian bomber, Steve, back in the frame.
Well, the Angry Man you're referring to, of course, is Tyrrell Hatton, and course form students would have been in clover. I mean, his Dunhill record was amazing, and it's now even amazinger. He's a 3-time champion there now. And his dad, clearly a calming influence on him. He played with his dad for the first time in that. And the contrast was there to be seen, because you'll remember about a month ago in the British Masters at the Belfry, he was leading at the halfway stage and then he imploded over the weekend. Yeah, the Angry Man got really angry over the weekend at the Belfry, finished 18th. He went from 1st to 18th. This weekend performance was contrasting. I think his dad can take a lot of credit for that. I mean, he was 10-1 though. I'm not going to beat myself up. I've been mulling over whether to beat myself up over this one, because obviously the course form was there to be out. But 10-1 Hatton, 168 runner affair over 3 courses. I'm not going to beat myself up, Dave. You can try if you wish, but
no, you're all right. You're all right. And this was a player and a performance in which Tyrrell Hatton won this golf tournament. It wasn't handed to him. He didn't fall over the line. He was very impressive at the end. Some brilliant putting throughout from both Hatton and Colsaerts, but he won it at the end. It was there for him to win, and he won it.
Well, that's it. The birdie at the final hole, brilliant chip there through the Valley of Sin. He judged that to absolute perfection. And then Nicholas Colsaerts, as you mentioned, he was 400-1 last week. He had a birdie putt to force a playoff there and tugged it. I mean, he was smiling afterwards. It must have been such a strange feeling for Colsaerts to have a winning chance. It's been a long time since he has. And he was smiling away. He's one of the great characters of the DP World Tour. I was hoping Colsaerts would win that, just because I like him so much. But it's interesting because his last DP World Tour win came in the French Open in 2019. That's where we go this week. So you won't be getting 400-1 Colsaerts this week.
And by contrast, I mean, I backed Tommy Fleetwood each way, and you get the each way money, great, but. They're night and day. I think Hatton and Fleetwood, you've got a player that is there to quote your good self. We're trying to win this golf tournament. And Fleetwood always just feels like a player who's just in and around the top. He's probably good for a podium like we saw in the Olympics. But is he going to just step up and win another golf tournament anytime soon?
Well, Fleetwood's bank manager will be very happy with how this season's gone. Just consistently
Yep.
banking healthy checks. He won
I
right at
want
the
winners.
start of the year.
I want
Well, yeah,
winners.
yeah, we all want winners, Dave. We all want winners. But at the start of the year, he won the Dubai Invitational, which was a really rubbish event. Had a little duel with Rory McIlroy there, but yeah, he's been waiting for win number 2 this year, and it hasn't happened. I think, Fleetwood you have to back each way if you are going to back him. Rasmus Nygaard Peterson deserves a mention. We need to talk about him. He's a winner. He's won 3 times on the Challenge Tour this year. He's a DP World Tour player now. He was 100-1 last week. I so wish I'd stuck with him. You would have got your place money off Rasmus. He shot 61 at Kingsbarns on Saturday. 12 birdies. He birdied 12 of his 18 holes at Kingsbarns. What a player. I'm really excited about Rasmus.
And there was a unique tournament, Steve, wasn't it? I mean, I'll text friend of the show, Dal Whitnell, after round 1.
Oh, yes.
Going okay. He was playing okay, but Dal actually said to me, look, this week is all about Carnoustie. Like, that's the track that's playing toughest.
Yeah.
It was a weird tournament in that, there was definitely shots to be had out there, but they're playing on 3 different tracks, and you saw how emotional it was for Tyrrell Hatton at the end. I think maybe the UK-based players, it means a lot.
Yeah, and it was a fair contest. The weather was pretty good, wasn't it? I saw Dale made about 8 birdies in the row on day 1. He had a fantastic spell there. David Puig was the other player I wanted to mention, because David Puig, I'm a fan of him. He went off 80-1 last week, so he's finished 3rd in the Spanish Open, and then 4th in the Dunhill on Sunday. So, real shame that he's a live golfer. I mean, Tyrrell Hatton is going to play his events now, isn't he? He's going to be available for the Ryder Cup because he's played his events. So Tyrrell Hatton should be on the Ryder Cup team, next year. Will David Puig be on the Ryder Cup team? It's a question that needs asking, because I think he's got bags of ability, and he could develop into one of Europe's best players.
Yeah, 19 under for him. Any other takeaways, performances, Steve?
No, I would just suggest keep Rasmus Nygaard Peterson on your side and keep David Puig on your side in the months to come.
And did your man Ollison did he win the team event?
Yes, yeah, he did. He did, and
get paid out for that, though, I'm afraid.
No betting on that. No betting on that. But I thought that was going to keep him nicely focused. Maybe the pressure got to him on that 16th hole. I was down the snooker club watching. I was playing snooker with Tommy Tiger on Sunday when the Ollison double bogey dropped, and Tommy took advantage by beating me at pool.
Distraction. Right, let's move on then. Let's move on to the Sanderson Farms Championship, and a first-time winner here, Steve, on the PGA Tour.
Well, yeah, I was interested by your introduction about the angry man, because this fella is the complete opposite of Tyrrell Hatton. He's such a cheerful Charlie. I've really warmed to Kevin Yu. He seems a really good egg, and I was delighted for him. Bookmakers were probably delighted for him as well, because he went off 100-1. His recent form had been terrible. But a great player, an attacking player, a fun player to watch. His putting was superb last week. We've always believed in you. We've always believed in you. I remember me and Bruce spent a spell talking about Kevin Yu many moons ago. But it was difficult to back him last week. Again, you cannot beat yourself up, Dave, for not backing Kevin Yu last week, because his recent form was so untidy. But I think I like this player. He
showed minerals, didn't he? After missing that putt on 18, he showed some minerals for sure.
Yeah, and the others around him on that leaderboard did not show the minerals, did they? I mean, we've often talked about visor wearers on this podcast. The visor is such a flimsy, wishy-washy, weak item of clothing, isn't it? And you had 2 visor wearers showing the effects of the visor on Sunday. You had Bo Hostler, who had a great winning chance and blew it, as he always does. He always finds someone too good for him, does Bo Hostler. He never even won on the Corn Ferry Tour, never won on the PGA Tour. He arrived on the circuit with a big reputation, but it hasn't happened. He turns 30 in March, and he'll probably do so as a PGA Tour maiden. And then Keith Mitchell, we obviously talked about him last week because he was the favourite. He was the 22-1 pre-tournament favourite, and he missed a tiddler on the 72nd hole, did not even get in the playoff. Terrible bogey on the last day. It was a final around 70. Really, really, really poor. Yeah, he's difficult to trust in contention. He's only won once in his whole career. He's 32 now. I thought it was a little warning there that if you see a visor on a player's head, He'd probably have a weak temperament.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that, but he's favourite again this week.
He's favourite again.
So
He's favourite
I'm
again.
confident that you're not going to be tipping him from what you've just said there. Anyway, Steve, any other takeaways from that event?
No. We believe in you, and we will follow you in future. But we don't believe in Bo Hostler, and we don't believe in Keith Mitchell.
Bo the bridesmaid. We'll call him Bo the bridesmaid.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Let's get to it then, shall we? We are off to the Golf National. I know people are eagerly awaiting your pronunciation of the track, Steve, so we'll get to that. But it is the French Open, 1906 first run, staged at this course since 2002. Loads and loads of course form.
That's right, yeah, not far from Paris. Le Golf National, 7,247 yards, par 71, only 3 par 5s. One of Europe's finest courses, typically a stern test. It first hosted the French Open in 1991. It's become the permanent home to this event. The 2018 Ryder Cup, of course, was played here. And the Olympics in August this year was at the Golf National. Severely undulating fairways, water everywhere, juicy rough. You've got to be accurate around here. And we're going to get a soft golf course because pre-tournament rain is coming. Heavy pre-tournament rain is due. The first day is going to be windy. Calm and cool from Friday onwards. We've got a field of 156 going to post.
And we're going with accuracy as the attribute here?
Oh, absolutely. Such intimidating approach shots. Lots of aqua everywhere. So, you've got to be deadly on approach here.
Right, let's have a look at the show then. It is 12-1 the field. Billy Horschel heads the market of West Ham United Football Club. Rasmus Højgaard second in at 14s. Matt Wallace 18. Thriston the Piston Lawrence at 20s, Jordan Swift 22s, Victor Perez at 23, available out there, and a pony 25-1 bar, including Thorbjorn Olesen as well, who's among there. Right, 12-1 the field. Steve, who is your main pick?
Main pick is Yannick Paul. 40-1 available about Yannick Paul, who appears to be rediscovering his A game. The last 3 tournaments have been really encouraging for Yannick Paul fans. 18th place in the BMW PGA at Wentworth, an improvement in every round of the Spanish Open for 24th place, and then 19th last week in the Dunhill Links. His front 9 scoring at the Old Course last week was sensational. He was 12 under par for the 18 holes of the front 9 at St Andrews last week. I think Yannick Paul is peaking for the French Open, and it's a tournament he absolutely loves. He finished 8th on his Le Golf National debut 2 years ago, then 6th last year. Typically magnificent iron play. We mentioned these intimidating approaches. They're not intimidating for Yannick. And he even putted well last week, Dave. Putting usually a weakness, but he was in sensational form on the greens last week, particularly on the Sunday. Signed off with a 25-foot birdie putt. Das ist gut, ja? I'm fully behind the German this week. I think we're going to get a second DP World Tour title at the age of 30.
Well, I'm quite excited here, Steve. We're starting with a 40-1 main pick. Do the prices get bigger?
We go down and then back to the same sort of region.
Okay, right. So how many are you putting up for this event?
4. Just the 4, sir.
Just the 4. Right, we start with the 40-1 poke. Next best is
a 22-1 chance Victor Perez, who starred at Le Golf National in the Olympics in August. There were 2 Frenchmen in that Olympics event. Again, all the support, much fanfare. Matthew Pavon buckled under that pressure. He finished last in the Olympics, but Perez rose to the occasion. He came agonisingly close to a bronze medal, finished 4th. The 3 players who beat him in that Olympics event are not playing this week. A great opportunity for Perez to go 3 places better than he managed at the Olympics. And he's clearly sensing this chance. He didn't play in the Dunhill Links last week. He's a former Dunhill Links champion. He's got a base in Dundee. So, it's surprising that he skipped that. But he obviously wants to keep himself fresh for the French Open. It means so much to him to win his national title. I think you've got to take your clue there that this is what his focus is. And, he's got the potential to give the galleries what they want. We've seen flashes of brilliance from Perez. I mean, this is a quality player, 3-time DP World Tour champion. One of them was a Rolex Series event, the Abu Dhabi Championship. And some of his stateside form has been eye-catching this year. 3rd in Puerto Rico Open, 3rd in the Canadian Open, 12th in the Memorial, 10th in the Scottish Open. So, we have to have Perez on our team. It's going to be a joyous occasion if Victor Perez wins this, and I want a part of that joy.
Yeah, and interesting you picked up on, Steve, that he swerved what would have been a local event for him last week. That speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think he's sensing his chance of winning this, having excelled in the Olympics there, and the course won't be much different from the Olympics.
Love that angle. Right, next selection is
Frederic Lacroix, 50-1. We got 2 Frenchmen in our team this week. Je voudrais, je beaucoup de bêtises. I'm not certain that's right. That's going to get some action on the comment section. Frederic Lacroix. He claimed his maiden DP World Tour title in August in the Danish Golf Championship, you might remember. He's a 29-year-old. That was a 4-shot romp in Denmark. He was a 3-time winner on the Alps Tour in 2019. He was born in Paris. He still lives in Paris. He went to college in Paris. He's a proper hometown Charlie this week. And that win in Denmark had been coming, Dave. He was 3rd in the Ras Al Khaimah Championship in January, 4th in Bahrain in February, 3rd in Prague in August. This is a brilliant ball striker that we've been following for a long time. I think he's at the peak of his powers now. So, long live Frederic Lacroix.
Can feel the YouTube comments coming alive already with some.
I got a D.
Questionable French there.
I got a D in GCSE. It's my weakest GCSE mark, but I still like to give it a try occasionally.
God loves a trier. God loves a trier. Right, we've got one more to come, right? Who else have we got?
Bernd Wiesberger, 40-1. We go again with Big Bernd, a ball-striking colossus, Dave, well suited to this assignment. He proved that fact when winning the French Open in 2015. He's gone on to become an 8-time DP World Tour champion. Both of his Challenge Tour wins came in France. His last 4 appearances at the Golf National have yielded a top 30 finish, including that win. He's definitely shown enough this year to suggest he'd be a leading title contender again. One of the freshest players in attendance, Dave, which I think is important at this time of the year. Didn't play the Spanish Open, didn't play the Dunhill, so I think he's going to come back to action with a bang this week. So we'll give him one last go.
The cheeseburger. Okay, right. We've spoken plenty. Is it just the price issue with Horschel?
12-1. I don't know how you feel. I was expecting better. I mean, I got a huge amount of respect for Billy Horschel's chances. He can plot his way around this course like he did at Wentworth successfully. He's played Le Golf National before, 20th last year. But it was just the price. Yeah, I was surprised he was such a short price. I think he's a massive runner, but I can't play at those odds.
Well, you asked me, Steve. I'd back him at 2-1. So
it's all good. No, I thought you'd be on. I mean, I don't want to put you off because I think he's a better bet than Rasmus Højgaard.
Right. Well, I was going to get to him. It's been a little bit of money around for him. He's about 14-1 chance at the time of recording. And what are your thoughts?
Well, he's had great chances to win this tournament before, but he's found the aqua at key moments. I remember he had 3 balls in the water on one of the par 3s a couple of years ago. So he was in control of the tournament and put 3 balls in the water. I mean, he's got some demons to overcome at this track. I prefer Horschel to Rasmus Højgaard. Nikolai Højgaard played well in the Olympics in August, so some people might go for him, but I'm not sure he's quite at it at the moment. So Billy Horschel was actually the only other player I was interested in, other than my 4. But no, I can't play at 12s.
Well, should we move on then?
Yes, sir.
If it was only Billy. Right, yeah. Black Desert Championship in Utah. Steve, what can you tell us about the track here?
Yes, Black Desert Resort Golf Course, Evans, Utah. 7,371 yards, par 71, 3 par 5s, 2 drivable par 4s for the big boys. This was Tom Weiskopf's final course design. He sadly passed away a couple of years ago. This course only opened in May last year. It's a flat track, bit of altitude, visually stunning. Black lava. The name comes from the black lava rock, which is in the background. It's a resort golf course, generous fairways, large greens. Scoring's going to be really low this week, I'm sure. Sunny and calm conditions all week. A field of 1-3-2 going to post.
And when you talk about designers of golf courses, did all these different designers have their mark on each track? So you could look at it and say, oh, yeah, I can see what he's trying to do there, and that's
Yeah.
typical of so and so, the designer.
Yes. Well, old Tom, God rest his soul. Old Tom liked to drive a ball par 4. So we got 2 of them this week that are definitely in range for the big hitters. He also it's a nice little touch to it that there's a par 3 here that he tried to make it like the postage stamp which we had in the Open in the summer at Royal Troon, because Weiskopf won the Open in 1973 at Royal Troon, and so he's put his fingerprints all over this course. And that's why these course designers live forever, isn't it? We'd all like to live forever, and Tom Weiskopf will through Black Desert Resort.
Have you got a favourite course designer, Steve?
Oh, now you're talking. A.W. Tillinghast is my favourite course designer, yes.
For what reason?
This won't help.
Other than the name, just the name.
All the punters come on for is the tips, isn't it? And we're discussing A.W. Tillinghast.
Listen, I'm just mentioning the suspense.
No.
Okay.
It is purely the name, yeah. It is purely the name.
Oh, dear. Right, let's have a look at the show then. And it's Grant and Phil's brother at Head of the Market again. Keith Mitchell here, 20-1. Seamus Power, 25s. Kurt Kitayama, 28s. Patrick Fishburn, 30s. Bo, the bridesmaid, is in there again at 33s. And Stephen Yeager as well. Ryan Fox at 35. Right, how many players are we putting up for this event?
We got 6 selections for this one, 4 in the other one, 6 in this one. Yeah, I don't like having more than 5 in a tournament, but this is a wide open affair, Dave. I've got to accept that I've got to respect its difficulty with a 6-pronged attack.
Well, I hope some of these are going to be massive prices then, Steve, if we're going for 6. Who is the main selection?
Main selection is mighty Michael Thorbjornsson. 35-1 for Michael Thorbjornsson, who bounced back into form last week with 8th place in the Sanderson Farms Championship. Rounds of 63, 69, 69, 68. This is a former amateur superstar. He topped the PGA Tour University rankings to gain a PGA Tour card. So the same route that Ludwig Aubert took to the big time. Will Thorbjornsson make as much impact as Ludwig Aubert? Time will tell. He turned professional in June. 2 years ago, he finished 4th in the Travelers Championship on the PGA Tour. So 2 years ago, he's contending for PGA Tour titles. Much more, ready for the big time now. In July, in just his 3rd start as a professional, he finished 2nd in the John Deere Classic. This week's assignment should be a similarly low-scoring affair to the John Deere. I think Mighty Mike is going to overwhelm this golf course. Last week is a sign that he's settled into be a PGA Tour player. I think he's going to go from strength to strength.
Okay, that's the main selection. Then, Steve, who's the next best here?
Patrick Fishburn. 30-1, I believe, is the best price about Patrick Fishburn. He was playing a home game this week. He's a Utah man through and through. And how exciting is it for Fishburn and the Utahns that he's coming? It's a great band name, isn't it? Fishburn and the Utahns. How exciting for Fishburn and the Utahns that he's coming to this home event in such good form. I mean, he's been in ridiculously solid form of late. From the Myrtle Beach Classic onwards, that was in the middle of May, he's posted 6 top 20s, 3rd place in the Barracuda Championship, 6th in the 3M Open, 3rd in the Procore Championship last month. He's won on the Canadian Tour. Now he's threatening a PGA Tour breakthrough. He's a 32-year-old. Yeah, so a big opportunity for Fishburn. And I can totally understand all the money that's coming from him. He's being well backed this week, but I think that's fair enough.
Okay, lovely. 30-1. He's in good form as well. Looks like a solid each-way play there. We've still got 4 more to come. Steve, who's the next selection?
Chan Kim. 35-1 Chan Kim. Another attacking player well suited to this assignment. Went to college in Arizona, still lives in Arizona. Arizona just south of Utah. Kim enjoyed lots of success in Arizona as an amateur. Then he won 8 times on the Japan Tour, went over and made his name on the Japan Tour. Last year was a big career year for Chan Kim. He won twice on the Korn Ferry Tour. The last of them was in Idaho, which borders Utah. So Kim clearly very comfortable in this part of the States, playing well. 5 of his last 7 starts have yielded a top 30 finish. He was 12th in the John Deere, 10th in the ISCO Championship, 12th in the Wyndham. So I think he's going to go very close to a maiden PGA Tour title this week.
Lovely. I'm hoping the prices are going to get bigger now, Steve. Give it
Yes,
to me.
sir.
What we got?
Patton Kazaya, 50-1, who won his third PGA Tour title in the Procore Championship a month ago. That was a 5-shot romp. He followed up with 11th place last week in the Sanderson Farms Championship. So I was shocked that we're able to get such juicy prices given the form he's in. 7 of his last 12 starts have resulted in a top 25 finish. So it's not like that win came out of the blue. And he's another one with positive vibes around this part of the world. His maiden Corn Ferry Tour title, the win which kick-started his professional career, came in the 2015 Utah Championship. So, I've got lots of players that are buzzing about going back to Utah, and Kazaya is one of them. I've got plenty of desire for Kazaya.
Would you say he's a player that's trending in the right direction? I know you love that one.
I think he is trending. Yeah. The giant Alabaman. He's a massive bloke with a massive chance.
Okay, right. He's a massive bloke. He can open his shoulders. He's a massive bloke. Right, next selection.
Matt McCarty. 50-1 also available about Matt McCarty. He's won 3 times on the Corn Ferry Tour this season. Made his PGA Tour debut to much fanfare last week. Made the cut, tailed off over the weekend. I think he'll come on for that run because there'll be less media work this week. He was a centre of attention last week, given how good his Corn Ferry Tour season has been. This week, I think he'd be more settled on the circuit. This is like a glorified Corn Ferry Tour event. You know, this is the sort of grade that he's been winning in. Nobody to fear in this field. And I liked his media conference last week. They asked him what his intentions were, what his target was for the week of the Sanderson Farms. And it was a tiger-like response. You know, I want to set up a winning chance on Sunday. He knows he's capable of getting a W on the board straight away. And I think this is a great opportunity. He's an Arizona man, lives in Arizona, born in Arizona. So teeing up, we get the map out again. He's teeing up relatively close to home this week. And the last of his 3 Corn Ferry Tour wins this year came in Idaho, which borders Utah, as we said. And he was second in the Utah Championship in August.
Well, we might not get the pronunciations right, but geographically, we're providing a lesson here in the US of A.
This is it.
Sounds like a racehorse. He's going to come on for the run, Steve, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It was difficult for him last week because everyone wanted to grill Matt McCarty about his wonderful season. This week, nobody, he won't be having those troubles. Clearly a quality player in a grade that he's 26 in a grade that he's comfortable in. No one to fear.
No one to fear. Right, I think we've got one more selection in the team. Is that right?
Yes, sir. The biggest prize of the lot, and it's Kyung Hoon Lee, who was 90-1, I think, last time I checked. Played well in the 2022 President's Cup. Probably really cheesed off that he wasn't part of it this year. I think it would have been a tough watch for him. A bit of extra motivation to get back on that team. He hinted at a return to form a few weeks ago. He was 9th in the 3M Open in July, 23rd last week in the Sanderson Farms. And I think he's going to take a shine to this week's venue. Obviously, we're all seeing it for the first time this week. Lee's favourite course in the world is the venue for the AT&T Byron Nelson. Both of his PGA Tour wins have come at that, TPC Craig Ranch. And that's a Tom Weiskopf design, a low-scoring Tom Weiskopf design. We've got another low-scoring Tom Weiskopf design this week. I think Lee's worth chancing at a juicy price.
Okay, so 4 selections and 6 selections, 24 each way doubles, which is lovely. Give us an overview of the selections, Steve.
French Open, Yannick Paul, Victor Perez, Frederic Lacroix, and Bernd Wiesberger. And the other tournament, Dave, the Black Desert Championship, Mighty Michael Thorbjornsen. Have you been watching the World Grand Prix darts, Dave? Yes. Mighty Mike's playing tonight, but I think Mighty Mike will become the nickname also of Michael Thorbjornsen as well as Michael.
The Mighty Mike double, got to have that, yeah.
Yeah, you could have the Mighty Mike double. Patrick Fishburne, Chan Kim, Patton Kazaya, Matt McCarty, Kyung Hoon Lee.
Wonderful. Right, remember, to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop your comments in below. We read them all. Some very shrewdies out there watching the Sweet Spot every week. Let us know who you're playing this week. Are you playing each way doubles? I think we're going to this week, Steve. Some nice big prices in there. We team up a couple of 50-1 chances and we'll be racing away. You don't have to have a lot on at those prices. What you got coming up this week, Steve?
I think I'm going to have some sleep, Dave. I'm very keen on having some sleep. Yeah, I think I've got parental burnout. I don't know how you're getting on with the parental task, but a bit of parental burnout. I've got the most energetic son in the world, Dave, and he's got the most tired dad in the world. So, yeah, my plan is to watch as much golf as possible, get as much sleep as possible, and then finish this October strongly. Because, I spoke about last week. I always feel like October's a big opportunity. It hasn't worked out thus far, but we're only just started it.
Yeah, we've only just begun, haven't we? Don't put too much pressure on yourself, Steve.
That's it. Pressure is a privilege.
Right, next week, what have we got? We've got coming up next week, Steve. Do we know?
It's another double header, isn't it? Yeah, we were on a run of double headers. We got Andalusia Masters, of course. John Rahm will be playing in the Andalusia Masters to complete his sort of Ryder Cup membership. And then we've got the Shriners Children's Open.
Right, I'll be sacking whoever put the running order together because the next week's tournaments are not on there. So you've had to go to your calendar. But as I say, do remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we will see you this time next week.